Shalom, Yashrallah. This your brother Dawudah, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and ever will. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article real quick, which is it says global nuclear weapons spending calculated. All right, it says during every minute of 2021, the world spent $156,841 on nuclear weapons. New report says global atomic weapons spending saw a significant increase in 2021, according to the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons report published on Tuesday. And just 1 year, the non-nuclear armed nations, U.S., China, Russia, France, India, Israel, and North Korea, Pakistan, and the U.K. spent a total of $82.4 billion on upgrading and maintaining their estimated 13,000 nuclear weapons, marking a 9% hike from last year before, according to the ICANN's estimate. It says the reports, which is the ICANN's third annual summary of global nuclear spending and is titled Squadron 2021 Global Nuclear Weapons Spending, highlighted that in total, the world spent a combined of $156,842 every single minute of 2021 on weapons of mass destruction amid an ongoing pandemic and rising global food security. And so, as you can see, like the scriptures say, prepare the mighty men for war. All right. So it says, ICANN details exactly how much each of the 9 countries spent on atomic weapons list and companies that profited and lobbyists hired to keep nuclear weapons in business. The United States turned out to be by far the biggest spender on nuclear armaments in 2021, having spent $44.2 billion, 4 times more than the next in line. China was the only other country to exceed the $10 billion mark at $11.7 billion spent, while Russia holds third place at $8.6 billion. The UK spent $6.8, France $5.9, and countries like India, Israel, Pakistan spent a little over $1 billion on their arsenals in 2021. And last place, North Korea was spent $642 million. Slovakia. Hey, so as you can see, what these nations are pretty much propping up for at this point in time is what? War, nuclear war. All right, they're getting prepared for what? The end game goal. So as people, think that things are just going on as normal, there's a lot of major things as far as what prophecy taking place. All right, we see the wars, the rumors of wars. We also see the MOTB getting prepared, Esau being exposed, Jake waking up. All right, again, let's go ahead and we'll start with that precept real quick. Let me go to this is Joel chapter 3 verse 9. It says, proclaim me this among the Gentiles, prepare war, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong. So as they was going through, even smaller nations like North Korea and Israel and stuff like that, even they're getting prepared, with their little bit of spending, which in comparison to America and Russia, and they're even spending on a nuclear arsenal, man. So all these nations are doing what? Being prepared for war. All right. It says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen round about. All right. It's like I skipped a verse. Let's go back to verse 11. Assemble yourselves, come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. And again, like I said, you see a lot of these different nations that are preparing for these things, man. All right. They're taking their they're spending their resources and things like that and converting them over into what? Military spending. All right. They're getting prepared for what? World War III. All right. And what? These nuclear missiles, man. All right. People think that these some people, there's a teaching that the missiles don't exist. All right. Some people believe that they're never going to use nuclear weapons because the fact of the matter that, both sides have nuclear weapons, that guarantees a peaceful outcome as far as a universal stalemate. But they don't realize that, hey, this is the Lord's, well, we can grab it. Where's that at? I think it's Isaiah. No, this isn't it, but let me read this. Isaiah 34:1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that there is that therein, and the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all the armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them into the slaughter. All right. So again, this is going into what? The day of the Lord. All right. Where he's bringing down all these armies. It says, their slain shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all the hosts shall fall down, and as the leaf falleth from out the vine, and the fallen fig from the tree. All right. So hey, let me read this. The next two verses, 5 and 6. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord shall be filled with blood, and shall be made fat with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys of rams. And for Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So, going as far as the heavens departing like a scroll, talking to what? That mushroom cloud, like the fig falling off the trees. All right, it's coming also in that arch in motion. All right, and when it comes down, the Lord said he has bathed his sword in the heavens, above Idumea. All right, going into what? Those missiles coming down and mainly falling down upon Esau. All right, that's where, because you got to think about it. You're going to have these Edomites fighting against the Edomites, but nevertheless, they're going to be shooting their missiles on mainly who? The Edomites. It's not like the world is ganging up against the Chinese folks or Moab or Ham or anything. No, the world is ganging up on Esau right about now, man. And it's going to cause these missiles to come down, and it's basically going to nuke Esau off the face of the earth. All right, so this is basically, how the Lord is going to pretty much, hang on one second. Where's that at? Let me see if I can find. We can go ahead and grab this. This wasn't what I was looking for, but this is a good one as well too. Isaiah 9. Give me one second. We just get to the point because I didn't want to make this too long. Let's just get to the point here. This Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, "For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." All right, because ultimately this is how, again, Esau's going to be taken out in what? Thermonuclear missiles, all right, with a fire not blown, all right, because ultimately, where's that at? Let me get that real quick. All right, this is, I thought it was right here. Yeah. Job 20, we got to start up a little bit. Matter of fact, we'll come back to this. We'll end off with that. But nevertheless, hey, when you speak about the end all be all of this here thing, is going to go out with what? Thermonuclear warfare. All right. Also, the chariots coming and tearing some shit up and everything else like that. But, matter of fact, since we just read about that, let's read this real quick. I believe it's in Revelation 6 and 14. All right. Lord's will, we'll come back to that. Revelation 6 and 14 says, or let me start up. Revelation 6 and 12. "And I beheld him when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." All right, going into, how they call a quote unquote a nuclear winter. All right, from the smoke going up. "And the stars of heaven fell upon the earth, even as the fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind." All right, now when you watch, people will say, "Oh, this is stars," but when you watch certain movies and they depict the nuclear missiles coming down, you see that bright shining light. Or even if you see, when they test these rockets and things like that, it comes in as or just like whenever it's bombing in Israel and stuff like that, in the nighttime, man. All right, you see those missiles coming down. It looks like a so-called shooting star from a distance coming down, and it starts raining down upon the earth. All right, it says, "And the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their place." Again, going into what? That mushroom cloud. When those nukes go off, go look up on YouTube, nuclear bomb tests and things like that, and look at the different effects. All right, read these precepts as you're watching those videos of what it, the reactions of how these things look. All right, matter of fact, there's another one. Let me find that in Zechariah. All right, because you can also even look this up in what is that movie called? Terminator 2 on YouTube. Sarah's Dream. All right. Zechariah 14 and 12, it says, "And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that are fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth." So when you watch that movie Terminator 2, and you have the vision of Sarah's dream when she's up on the fence and she's yelling at herself, she's in a dream, and that nuclear bomb goes off, she sees the light flash, she's trying to warn herself, she sees the light flash, all right, instantly that blinding light, and she's screaming on the fence, and while she's still standing, it says their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and you see her standing there, and all of a sudden that heat wave hit her ass, all right, then her flesh comes off, all right, her skeleton's still standing there before she can even hit the damn ground, all right, it says, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes. All right, her eyes melted, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right, the tongue melted, all your flesh wound up melting, and this was all in an instant before she even hit the damn ground. All right, so hey, you know what type of heat can do that? All right, now the Lord's gonna really make you feel it and burn. It's not gonna just be like you're gonna be there and you're gonna just die and that's gonna be it. No, man, the Lord's gonna torment you into these things, man. All right, but ultimately, that's where they get that visionary depiction from in that movie. A lot of these things that you see in these movies come from out of the scriptures, man. All right, so we talk about people will say certain things, they don't have nukes in the Bible. Yeah, because you're looking for the word nuclear missiles, nuclear bombs, but they give you a full description, being shot from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. All right, when talking about the intercontinental ballistic missiles, by definition, that's what an intercontinental ballistic missile is. All right, a missile that's shot from one continent to another continent, but in the scriptures it says, "From thence she shall be taken." All right, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. All right, going and speaking on that, let me read this real quick. Joel chapter 2. All right, let me just start at the top. All right, blow ye the trumpet of Zion and sound the alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong, there had not ever been like, neither shall there be any more after, even into the years of many generations. Because before there wasn't no nuclear missiles that was being used in warfare. All right, and there's not going to be none after that, because we're going to round up all the weapons of war and we're going to burn them with fire. So this is going to be the only time that they're going to be used. A fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burneth. All right, so hey, you have let me keep reading. It says, the land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them desolate wilderness, yea, nothing shall escape. So let me read the top. It says, a fire devours before them, and behind them a flame. So when these bombs go off, you see like in a circular motion, everything burns from the epicenter on out, right? But then it says the land is as the garden of Eden before them. All right, so before the fire come and hit your ass, if it's spreading out, it's just like a wave. Before the fire comes out and hits your ass, man, everything is perfectly fine. But then afterwards it says, the land is as garden of Eden before them. All right, perfectly fine. And behind them desolate wilderness. All right, yea, nothing shall escape, because everything's gonna be devoured after that, man. All right, we can keep reading on to that. And we could read all the way down. Let me just for time's sake, let me just jump down to verse 10, because they talk about how they're gonna not break their ranks and never fall on each other, because the Lord's gonna have his spirit inside of these missiles. They're not gonna come back, return in vain. It says, the earth, verse 10, the earth shall quake before them, and the heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Again, going into what they call a nuclear winter, because the smoke is going to go up into the air. It's going to blot out the sun. All right. Where did I want to grab? I may have grabbed it already. Let me see if I grabbed this already. No, that wasn't it. Where's we just said? Okay, we read this as well. Oh, I know what it was. We was reading in the book of Joel. All right. Not Joel, Job. This is the book of Job. All right. Chapter 20. And I'm going to read. Let me just start up a little bit and we'll close out. This is Job, Salakia, chapter 20, verse 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Because I was just speaking about, how we see all these prophecies coming to pass, and we're at the very end, the MOTB. All right, we're seeing, Jake waking up, Esau going down. All right, the nuclear missiles being created or not created, but being tested, being upgraded, and things like that. So we know we're here at the end. So Esau's about to fill his belly with what, implementing his new world order, getting everybody chipped up. And this is when we come into the end. All right, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and rain it upon him while he is eating. So what does it mean by rain it upon him? What is he going to rain down upon him? All right, it says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. All right, going into what? Those nuclear missiles. All right, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of the gall. Terrors are upon him. So coming out of those silos or wherever the missiles are held, whether they be in planes, silos, submarines. All right, all these missiles are going to wind up coming out of their so-called quote unquote casings, or wherever they're being held at. All right, to be launched. All right, it is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh up out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret place. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. So, hey, going as far as fire not blown, because instantly these missiles they go up. It's not like somebody has to set a fire and feed the fire for the fire to get bigger to be able to consume somebody. It's not like you're going to go set a house on fire. You start in one room, you set the curtains on fire and let that spread and blow a little bit of wind. Nah, man. Imagine you having a damn nuclear bomb go off in the middle of a subdivision. Instantly, as soon as that bomb goes off, the whole subdivision is leveled at an instant. All right, and that's what it's going to be like. So, hey, these nuclear missiles was prophesied in the scriptures. All right, and we'll close out here. These nuclear missiles was prophesied in the scriptures, and it's going to bring on the end of Esau Edom. But it says Habakkuk 2. Let me just start at the top. And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch what you see, and watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth this. So we go into these lessons and these articles, or these lessons mainly. So when you see things like these articles come out, hey, measuring the time diligently, we getting there to the end. All right, you seeing Esau create more and more of these nuclear missiles. This should be raising up your faith. All right, call halal Yahweh Shem Shah. We getting closer and closer to the end. Oh, he about to drop the chip. We getting closer and closer to the end. All right, Esau's being exposed for his wickedness. We getting closer and closer to the end. All right, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And a lot of these people thought, at different points in times, the world was going to end at certain points in times, but, or Esau's rulership was going to end at a certain point in time. But now we have all the catalyst that's ready and able to take place, whether it be the MOTB, well, all of them at the same time. The MOTB, Jake waking up and finding out who they are, Esau falling out of power, all right, him and his brothers hating one another, all right, all these different things, Babylon falling, all these things are happening at the same time, signaling what? We're at the end of this here thing, man. All right, these are the signs that the Lord told us before he was going to return. All right, so we need to take heed, all right, and act accordingly. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakak Radash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation, much love for you. I can push in truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.